Hello, everyone, and welcome to our presentation. Today, we're going to explore the relationship between fake news and manipulative speech, and then analyze some real cases where these techniques were used. Fake news provide false or biased content, often through shocking or sensational headlines. For example, claims like the vaccine changes your DNA. On the other hand, manipulative speech is a set of communication strategies set to designed to influence people's beliefs, emotions, or behaviors, usually for the benefit of the speaker, and often without the audience even realizing it. We can think of fake news as the raw materials, while manipulated speech is the tool that shapes into persuasion. It uses emotional language, constant repetition across different channels, and even social proof, making it seem like experts or many people support a false message. This combination is powerful and also dangerous.
To better understand manipulation, let's look at the documentary Debao, specifically Chapter 1, called The Science of Joy. This episode introduces how people were recruited into an organization that presented itself as a self-help group. These recruitment techniques were subtle. First, they framed themselves as offering tools to improve life and ethics, appealing to people's personal growth. Second, they rely heavily on testimonials and social proof. Friends or respected leaders sharing their own success stories, which made outsiders trust them more. Third, they used a foot in the door strategy. People began with small, harmless courses, and little by little, they were asked to commit bigger things. But recruitment was only the beginning. Once inside, members were exposed to deeper manipulation that changed the way they saw themselves and the group.
Three main manipulation techniques stand out from the process shown in the bowl. The first was the use of therapeutic language and the fetishization of vulnerability. Members were encouraged to share personal and emotional details, which create dependency on the groups and its leaders. The second was the reframing of identity and guilty. Any doubt or criticism was not treated as a valid concern, but rather as a personal weakness. This silenced questioning and pushed members to blame themselves instead of the system. Finally, there was secrecy and exclusivity hidden subgroups, like the infamous DOS, gave members a sense of belonging and loyalty, but at the same time made it harder to live. This strategy combined created an environment where people stayed trapped, even when they sensed something was wrong. And this is exactly what makes manipulative speech so effective.
Manipulation also happens in the media, and one of the most famous cases was Cambridge Analytica. Between 2014 and 2018, this company collected the data of more than 87 million Facebook users without their consent. That data was then used in political campaigns, such as the US presidential election in 2016 and the Brexit referendum in the UK. The goal was to influence undecided voters with messages tailored to their psychological profiles. Some people received fake or exaggerated news about crime and immigration to trigger fear, while others saw messages about jobs or the economy to win their trust. The scary part was not everyone saw the same content. Each group was micro-targeted, making it nearly impossible to have open, public debate. In other words, millions of people were quietly exposed to propaganda that felt personal but was actually engineered.
Cambridge Analytica used several manipulation techniques. First, psychographic profiling. They analyzed emotions and weaknesses based on personal data. Second, micro-targeting, where messages were customized for very small groups. Third, A/B testing and optimization, sending multiple versions of the same ad to see which one generated the strongest emotional reaction. And finally, astroturfing, which means creating fake pages in communities to make people believe that an opinion was widely shared when it really wasn't. The impact was enormous. Millions of voters received messages built just for them, shaping their perception of reality. Cambridge Analytica eventually collapsed, but the case showed how powerful and dangerous media manipulation can be. To conclude, we've seen how fake news and manipulated speech are connected, how groups like NXIVM used emotional strategies, and how Cambridge Analytica exploited data at a massive scale. All these examples remind us to think critically, question what we see, and recognize the hidden techniques that try to shape our beliefs. Thank you.